So I've done a lot of traveling this year and made a couple of travel vlogs as well. I did my trip from LA to Vegas with mCallouts earlier in the year, and recently I did my trip to Italy on the Amalfi Coast covering how to use DJI. And I'm always using MotionVFX for my graphics. The reason I use them is because they're so simple to use. I'm not very good at creating MotionVFX. I'm not very good in Fusion. So in this episode, I want to show you the 4 packs I consistently use for when I'm doing my travel vlogs. So if you are a vlogger or you do travel vlogs, this episode is going to be exactly right for you. So what I've done is I've re-edited the travel vlog I did with mCallouts earlier in the year. I've made it a little bit shorter. And I'm also adding in there not just titles, but I want to show you that MotionVFX are good for effects and transitions as well. I'm going to show you how to use them, how to use Fusion very simply. I'm not a Fusion expert at all, as you all know if you follow my channel, but I'm going to show you just how simple it is to customize some of these and make them look great. So let's take a look at the montage.
And we're at a hotel in Los Angeles because tomorrow we're making our way to Vegas for NAB. Yeah, can't wait.
Finally reached the end of the world. So we're driving from LA to Vegas.
You're on Route 66, that way to Vegas.
Vegas, baby!
Tell you what, that was a bloody long journey through the desert.
It was a long journey.
So here's the montage that you've just seen. Here's the actual edit itself. I've got some sound effects and things going on down here. On a few layers up, you'll see that I've got some titles and I've got some adjustment layers. I'm going to explain what goes where, but everything in here is from MotionVFX packs. Even the transitions here. So I'm going to break them down one by one. There's 10 effects to show you. Use the timestamps if you want to jump ahead. And I'm going to open up my inspector, and I'm also going to open up the effects tab here. Now what you can see is under titles, for example, you'll see that I've got several sections, and one of them is MotionVFX, and these are all the MotionVFX that I've got installed. Now you can preview these just by doing this and making sure here that you've got hover scrub preview on, and that allows you to preview these by just literally moving your mouse left to right. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to install those a little bit later, but they also come under not just titles, but under effects. So some of these are actually effects, and some of the packs that I've got here have effects and titles and transitions and other things, elements built into them. So I'm going to show you exactly what's in each pack. So you see down here, I've got titles just literally laid on top. And the effects, if the MotionVFX is in an effect tab, then it belongs on either the clip itself or on an adjustment layer. I tend to use adjustment layers because it allows you to go a little bit beyond the duration of the actual edit that you're working to. But we'll have a look at that. Let's have a look at the first one. So the first one is this animated map. I'm going to rebuild this from scratch. So this particular effect is found in the mJourney pack. So the one that I used here was actually in Route, and it's called mJourney Route 1. So I'm just going to drag and drop that on. Now when it says drop zone, I'm going to edit it to the duration of the clip. That means you can put video or a still image in there. So one of the great things with MotionVFX is that the menu becomes very familiar after a while. You've got at the top here in and out. This decides whether you want the animation to animate in, whether you want it to animate out. And if you deselect these, you can make it just static. So I've got mine set to animate in and out. I'm going to change some of those effects later. But the other thing you want to check here is if you're working in 4K, stick that on as well. I put it on even if I'm working in HD. So what we need to do now is let's get our map in here. So this is the map of America for our journey. And I'm just going to go to my drop zone and press browse. There it is, that's in. And I'm just going to set my start and end point, and then we're going to have a look at the animation. So I'm going to set my start point. I don't want Leon. I'm actually going to write start, not Los Angeles, because it already says Los Angeles on the map. Something like that. Okay, now my end point, let's go down here. It needs to be in Vegas. End, not Vegas. And this one needs to end in Vegas. Where's Vegas gone? It's over there. And you can see this point here, and that's bang on now. So we're going from LA to Vegas. Let's just move LA over a little bit because it's sitting in the sea. Something like that. So we've got our end point in Vegas. We've got a start point in LA. Great. So what we want to do now is have a look what's actually happening. So if I go up here, we can have a look at the final effect. Now, I can't play this in real time because it's quite a heavy effect, but it has got blurring. It's got things like that. And you can adjust all that here. So here's the camera controls. We can adjust everything here. There's the amount of zoom that we've got going on. Yeah, something like that. And I'm going to come down here and let's have a look at the line controls. So we can adjust the colors of the line, the thickness, all that sort of stuff. We've also got the blur controls here. So let's see how much blur we've got going on. Let's bring it a little bit, maybe somewhere around about there. So let's have a look what's happening on that. I'm just going to step through it. I'm quite happy just stepping through it. I realize this is quite a heavy effect. So I'm happy to just go through it like this manually. I'll show you how to do render cache in a moment on another effect, but you can see that line animating and at the same time we move towards Las Vegas. So this is really good. Now the only thing I don't like with this is the colors of the map. It's a very bold colors going on here, very saturated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust that. Now to do that, I'm going to go into Fusion. Now, as you know, I don't know Fusion very well, but this is so simple to do. All these motion effects are actually Fusion in the background. So it's just animated effects in Fusion, but you don't need to know Fusion. That's what I love. You just drag these on, let Fusion do what it's doing. I'm literally controlling the Fusion aspect in the edit page using these controls. But anytime I can click here and it will actually open that effect in Fusion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on here. This is the input. I'm going to press Shift and Spacebar. This brings up my menu, so Shift and Spacebar. I'm going to type in Film. I want Film Look Creator. So this is regular Film Look Creator that's in the color page, and these are all familiar to me because I'm happy in the color page. So I'm going to just change this to be Clean Slate. I'm going to put a little bit of film blend in. I'm going to use Alaska, and what I'm going to do is add a bit of bleach bypass, and it's just going to give this a bit more of a rustic look. Let's maybe bring the exposure down a little bit, but something like that. So all I did was add Film Look Creator in the middle of these two nodes. Really easy. Once I'm happy with that, flick it back into the edit page and job done. So there is my animated map. It's a little bit dark. I might lighten that up. To do that, I'm going to go back in here. I'm going to reset that exposure. I think that's what it is. Yeah, there we go. That's much better. Back to my edit page, job done. That's it. That's the first one done. So we've got a really nice animated map, really simple to do. Okay, so let's have a look at the next effect. This is this drop pin. Really cool effect, and this is from the mCallouts Clean pack. I love this pack, but it sits under effects. It's not a title. So mCallouts Clean. Now to see that, I need to clear this search results here. We get all of these. We get 30 of these great callouts. Now the one I used is called mCallouts Clean number 9, and if I drop that onto a clip down here, you'll see what it looks like by default. So it says Cape Canaveral, and you've got this little green drop in. So I'm going to undo that. And I'm not going to rebuild this one, I'm just going to show you what I did. But I put it onto an adjustment clip. Now I did that so I can adjust the duration longer than just the clip itself. So because it's an effect, it needs to sit on the clip or on an adjustment clip. And all I've done is I've retyped in the text. So if I clip up here, we're on video. Let's go to effects here. I've changed the color. So that's the actual location, 29 Palms in Joshua Tree. I changed the color to match the drop pin. Very easy to do. Just click on here, and then just highlight the color in here. And I've even put the exact location in here. So I just Googled what the exact location is, and that goes down here. You can change the size, the font, the color, and the animation in and out. And don't forget down the bottom to always hit that 4K quality. And that's that one done. Really simple and easy. So if you're enjoying this episode so far, drop me a comment and let me know what you'd like to see in future episodes. Also think about subscribing if you haven't done so already. I don't ask very often. I do work hard to get these episodes as good as I can for you. And I would love it if you hit the like button for me. So the next two effects I want to show you are from the same pack. They're from mHiTech. I love this pack. It's got 70 different presets built into it. It's got titles and effects, and they're just really cool. Let me show you. So I've got this really nice zoom in effect. So this has come from the titles. It's mHiTech here. Here's all the different elements you've got. You've got infographics, overlays, different tools. There is tons of stuff in here. And the one I used was mHiTech Magnification 3. That's what it does by default. You can see that. So I didn't want it, for example, saying the word zoom in. So all I did, if I just highlight it, you can change all the positioning, where it zooms in, how much it zooms in. There's the zoom power there. So I've got 2.5 on there. I've just taken off the description here. So it says zoom in. Like so, you can change the word in there, but I literally took that off. I didn't actually want it on there, but I've kept all the other elements. You can change the amount of glow, you can change the size. I could take off, for example, if I didn't want the vertical lines on there, you can go down here and you can take off the verticals. All sorts of control in there, fantastic. And the second one I used from the mHiTech pack was this one. It's called Frame Description. So this is where I just put a little description of what this sign actually is. But what I like with this is you can see, if I just play it back, we've actually got an animated on, but it actually animates particular words. So I took the actual artist, Jack Pearson here, and if I highlight this, I'll show you exactly how I did that. There you go. So it's blink start and blink end. And all you've got to do is adjust this, and I'm highlighting as many words in here or text as I want. So I've got the start to be at the beginning of his name, and the end is at the end of his name. So that is the element that blinks. Okay, the next one comes from a different pack. This is mTrip. Now, this is great for vloggers and people who do travel diaries and that sort of thing. You see all these different things you get there. So you've got looks going on in here as well. You've got grain, there's light leaks, there's all sorts of cool stuff in here. But what I want to look at is these split screens. It does these really cool animated split screens. So let me show you what we've got here. So in order to do that, I've had to make this fusion clip. So I've got the 3 layers here. So I'm going to rebuild this for you. So I've got video layer 1, I've got layer 2, and I've got layer 3. And layer 3 is actually just an extension of the clip before. So it looks like it's one continuous move. All right, so I've got those 3. All you need to do is highlight them. You need to right-hand click and put it into a fusion clip. So you say new fusion clip. These now are a fusion clip, and it's as simple as you don't need to know anything about fusion. All you need to do is go to that pack. So it's mTrip, and it's one of these split screens down here. So I'm going to take the split screen, drag and drop it on, and you'll see, obviously it animates it in. So if you're on the first frame, you're not going to see it. So just highlight in the middle. There's our 3-way split, and I've got individual control over these now really easily. This is accessing Fusion, but without me being in Fusion. This is what I love about this. So I can adjust the Y. In this one, I actually brought down the scaling a little bit, and then just adjust its Y and its X, something like that. The middle one is fine. I don't want to do anything to that because it's a continuation of the previous edit. And then the bottom one, we need to see the car. I need to put that 4K quality on as well, as always. But let's just see if we can get that correct. And then from that same pack, the mTrip pack, I took a transition. So this is mTrip rotation. Let me show you that. So these are actually in the transitions up here. So these appear in video transitions. There's MotionVFX. And if I go down to Trip, you see here, there's my rotation zoom. So it just does that kind of thing. So let's have a look at that. So how do you actually install these? Where do you get them from? How does it work? Well, basically, go to the MotionVFX website. Make sure you click on the right products because it also works with Adobe Premiere, After Effects, and Final Cut. We want to work with Davinci Resolve. Click on here and it'll show you all the packs that are relevant for Davinci Resolve. So keep an eye out for special offers that they've got going as well. If you use the link in the description, that will always take you to the best offers. I've got discount codes going on as well. So look at the link in the description. Use that link if you want to help my channel. And look out for their Final Cut offers as well, which are particularly good value. And what's really useful to help you decide if a pack's suitable or not for you, if you just scroll down, pick the one that you like. So let's go to mJourney, which we've been looking at in this episode. What you've got in here is there's always a YouTube video that does a full explainer of what's involved in that pack. But if you scroll to the bottom, it always gives you information about exactly what is in that pack. So you can see at a glance what you're going to get. 88 diverse presets in here. Hover over these, it shows you how it animates. It'll show you the typography, it'll show you the effects that are in there, drop zones that we're using, icons, effects, all that sort of stuff. This one's got transitions in it, so it shows you those. Really quick and easy way to work out if this pack is suitable for you. Once you've purchased the patch, you open up mInstaller. This is a separate application that sits on your computer, and it allows you to manage the packs that you've bought. So each one can be installed on 2 different machines. You've got 2 licenses. You can activate and deactivate using mInstaller, but once you've purchased it, it will appear here in your list, in your products. Okay, you can also go to the store directly from here and click on my products, and then you'll see all the products you've got. And you can see here, this one's been installed on 1 of 2 devices. So all you've got to do is press install. It's been installed on this one, go to the other machine, and it will say install like this one. Click on that. Oh, let's install this one, for example. That's saying installing, and it will then automatically import into Davinci Resolve into your effects list for you. So you don't have to do anything other than that. And if I click down here on MotionVFX, there it is, M Camera Rig. So it's done automatically. I don't have to do anything. Really easy. So let's take a look at the next one. This is again from the mJourney pack, and this one is where I've got that little line going from Los Angeles to Las Vegas while I'm talking about it. And this is called mJourney route. So in this one, I've changed the font, I've changed the sizing. You can change the actual line itself as well. So I can go in here and change the line start, line end. And what I like to do is use a color that's generally from the video, so it gives you a really nice aesthetic look. So if I click on here and go to my picker, I think I've chosen this from the sound here. So we're driving from LA to Vegas. Next one is a transition from that mJourney pack. So this appears up here in video transitions, MotionVFX and mJourney. And it's this one, transition number 3. And that looks something like this. It's just that zoom. And what I've actually done on this one, if I just zoom in and highlight it, I actually inverted the direction as well. Okay, this next effect is a really cool one. I'm going to go into Fusion in this. Again, I don't know Fusion very well, but I'm going to show you how to track one of the callouts and show you just how easy it is to do. I'm going to rebuild it from scratch for you. So here's the effect. We've got that really nice callout following the car, telling us we're on Route 66. And this is from the callouts simple pack. So I'm going to go to that. That's in the effects, and it's marked here as simple 28. So you see that, it's just says superb captions. I'm going to disable this track by pressing D. I'm going to rebuild it. So let's go to the effects. Let's grab an adjustment clip. Now what I'm going to do is grab that effect again. I'm going to drag and drop it onto the adjustment layer. This one's disabled. So the first thing I'm going to do is adjust the titles. So let's go in here. Title 1, it's not going to say superb. It's going to say 134 miles to Vegas. I'm going to change the font, and I'm going to make it much, much smaller so it fits underneath the word caption. Then all I'm going to do is use the X and the Y so that we can move its positioning a little bit. I've got that pretty spot on actually. Let's just make it a little bit bolder, something like that. And then I'm going to my other caption. In here, I can change the colors as well easily, and then call this one Route 66, and I'm going to leave that in the font it is. I like that. But we've got these weird video lines as well. So this is part of the animation, and I don't actually want them on. Graphics control, title lines. There we go. So they're now gone. And let's just move it over a little bit because I want an angle on that line. So let's go back up to the top. Go to our callout controls. Let's just change the angle so it goes a little bit more like that. This doesn't actually track, but it does animate. Again, this is why I like using MotionVFX and not just plain titles out of Davinci Resolve, because I've got that nice animation, but I want the nice animation and I want it to track with the car. So all we have to do is go into Fusion. I say all we have to do is go into Fusion, but I'm going to show you how simple that is. Again, each effect has got this little Fusion icon next to it. These are all in Fusion anyway. Click on it. All the operation of that animation is sitting inside this node. What's really nice for me, I don't see all the nodes that were used to actually make that. They're just sitting inside that one node. All I need to do to track this is highlight the input. I'm going to press Shift Space, which brings up my tools. Type in the first words, TR for tracker. There it is. I'm going to add the tracker. Okay, so it just sits before the call out. Once that's highlighted, all I've got to do is it will bring up this little track box. I'm going to put that on somewhere suitable. So somewhere like with nice high contrast going on. And I'm just going to press tracking, and it's going to track forwards and backwards. So it's tracking the car, not the text. Right, once that's done, all I've got to do is click on the text here, go to the center point, right click, and just say connect to the tracker IntelliTrack 1 path position. That's the track that I've just made. Hit position. I can't see anything yet. That's because I've not actually got to the point in the animation. And there we go. And that is now following the car. It's as simple as that. You can then go and adjust its positioning even further, but that is really simple. All you've got to do then is come out of Fusion and go back to your edit page. So just proving to you really don't need to know how to do Fusion. You just got to remember a few key things. It's as simple as that. Now, if we did actually want to see that in real time, obviously I can't see what's actually happening. What we could do is put our render cache on. So let me show you how to do that. If you go back to playback, go to render cache. Mine's set to none by default. If I put it onto user, okay, what you can do then is right hand click on here and say render cache Fusion output. Put that on and you see that red line appears. And now what we do, when I press play, it's going to slowly turn into a blue line, which means it's going to play in real time. There we go. So as it gets more and more rendered, more of it's playing in real time. So you get a much better idea of what's actually going on. I'm going to switch that off, otherwise it's going to keep rendering while I'm doing stuff. That's why I have it set to none, because I want to tell Resolve when I want it to do rendering. All right, so the last effect that I want to show you is a really clever way of doing this.
Tell you what, that was a bloody long journey through the desert.
So I'm listing all the places that we visited on the way. Now, instead of me having to do that 6 times to 6 different titles animated on and off, if I just go to mTrip, and what we need is this one, number 6, okay? And all this does, if I just use my mouse, you see it just animates different words on. Now, it's really simple how this works. Drag and drop it on as a title. All you got to do then, in the title controls, is just list them. And whatever I list in here, so if I put another one in there, it automatically animates that word. There you go. So it's just animating 2 times. Now, all you've got to do is stretch the duration of your title, and that will stretch the duration of the time they appear. So if you want them quicker, just shorten this. Simple as that. So if you do travel vlogs and video diaries, these packs might really help you. These are the ones that I'm using on my vlogging. I use other packs as well. So all my YouTube episodes over the last few years are always using MotionVFX. I don't know how to do motion graphics. I love the fact that I can go in, customize the animations that are pre-built in there so they don't look the same each time. I can make them look different, but I'm using the same packs over and over again. If you want to get the best deals, use the link in the description. That will also help support my channel. Look out for their final cut offers as well when their prices are the very best. And if you want to try them out, 14-day free trial, go to MotionVFX.com to try them out. I hope this has helped you. Enjoy your motion graphics. Look after yourselves, and I'll see you in the next episode.
And we're at a hotel in Los Angeles because tomorrow we're making our way to Vegas for NAB. Yeah, can't wait.
Whatever helps you sleep at night.
Finally reached the end of the world.
You're never gonna see the light. So do what you wanna do, say what you wanna say, whatever helps you sleep at night.
So we're driving from LA to Vegas.
You're on Route 66, that way to Vegas.
Vegas, baby!
Tell you what, that was a bloody long journey through the desert.
Was a long journey.